In the year 2157, the galaxy thrived with numerous civilizations coexisting in a delicate balance of peace and power. The Galactic Council, an interstellar governing body, had maintained harmony for decades. However, a new race, the Xiryans, emerged from the far reaches of the Andromeda Galaxy. Driven by an insatiable thirst for conquest and resources, they began to disrupt this fragile peace. The Xiryans were a formidable species, known for their tall, imposing figures, covered in a chitinous exoskeleton that shimmered under the light of distant stars. Their eyes glowed a menacing red, and their advanced technology allowed them to traverse the galaxy with ease. Their sleek obsidian ships and formidable weaponry struck fear into the hearts of many. They believed in their superiority and sought to dominate the weaker species. They had heard whispers of a race called humans, known for their resilience and ingenuity, but the Xiryans dismissed them as mere myths. On a remote outpost deep in the Milky Way, the Xiryans encountered their first human colony. It was a small, unassuming settlement on the moon of Triton. The moon orbited Neptune, and its harsh environment had been tamed by human ingenuity. The settlement was home to scientists and miners, working together to extract valuable resources and study the outer reaches of the solar system. Captain Sarah Blake, a decorated officer of the United Earth Federation, UEF, had been assigned to oversee the Triton colony's security. With her striking blue eyes and determined demeanor, Sarah was a symbol of human tenacity. Her crew respected her, and she had earned her position through years of service and numerous successful missions. The calm of the Triton colony was shattered one fateful morning when the Xiryans attacked. Their ships descended from the sky like a swarm of locusts, darkening the horizon with their sheer numbers. Alarms blared, and the colonists scrambled to defend themselves, but they were no match for the Xiryans' superior firepower. Sarah quickly organized a defense, rallying her team and the colonists. "We need to hold them off until reinforcements arrive," she shouted, her voice cutting through the chaos. Her team fought valiantly, but the Xiryans overwhelmed them with their relentless assault. Buildings crumbled under the onslaught, and the once thriving colony was reduced to ruins. As the battle raged, Sarah's thoughts raced. "Why are they attacking us? What do they want?" She fought with a determination born of desperation, knowing that every second they held out increased the chances of survival for at least some of the colonists. The Xiryans, led by Commander Cathar, a ruthless strategist, captured the remaining survivors. Cathar, towering over the humans with his imposing presence, viewed them with contempt. "You are but insects before us," he sneered, his voice echoing through the devastated colony. "Your resistance is futile." Among the prisoners was Captain Sarah Blake. Bound and bruised, she was taken aboard the Xyryan flagship, a massive vessel bristling with alien technology. The ship's interior was a stark contrast to the cold void of space outside, with pulsating energy conduits and alien symbols adorning the walls. Sarah endured interrogation and humiliation at the hands of the Xiryans. They sought to break her spirit, confident in their invincibility. "Tell us about your defenses," Cathar demanded, his eyes narrowing. "Tell us how to conquer your kind." Despite the pain, Sarah's spirit remained unbroken. She met Cathar's gaze with unwavering defiance. "You'll never defeat us," she spat. "We may be outmatched, but we will never surrender." Days turned into weeks, and the Xiryans grew increasingly frustrated with Sarah's refusal to cooperate. However, unbeknownst to them, she was silently gathering information, observing the ship's layout and weaknesses. Her mind raced with plans for escape, fueled by a fierce determination to warn humanity of the impending threat. Meanwhile, on Earth, the disappearance of the Triton colony did not go unnoticed. Admiral Marcus Green, head of the UEF fleet, received Sarah's distress signal just before the colony was obliterated. The signal was fragmented and filled with static, but the message was clear. They were under attack. Admiral Green, a seasoned veteran with graying hair and a steely resolve, knew that humanity had to act swiftly. "We can't let this aggression go unanswered," he declared, his voice resonating through the UEF command center. "Prepare the fleet. We're going to Triton." As the UEF fleet mobilized, a sense of urgency gripped the soldiers. They had long been preparing for a conflict of this scale. Over the years, humanity had developed advanced technologies, including AI-driven battleships, plasma weaponry, and state-of-the-art defense systems. They were ready to face any threat, and the Xiryans had unknowingly walked into the lion's den. Back on the Xiran flagship, Sarah's chance for escape came sooner than expected. The ship's security protocols were rigorous, but she managed to exploit a small vulnerability she had discovered during her captivity. With a mixture of stealth and courage, she disabled the ship's internal sensors and made her way to the hangar bay. In the dimly lit corridors, Sarah encountered a Xiran scientist named Tarek. Unlike the others, Tarek had always regarded her with a curious, almost sympathetic gaze. As she attempted to bypass a security lock, Tarek approached her. "You're trying to escape, aren't you?" he whispered, glancing nervously around. "I can help you." Sarah hesitated, unsure of his motives. "Why would you help me?" she asked, her eyes narrowing. Tarek's expression softened. "I have seen the brutality of my own kind, and I do not believe in this war. The humans, you are not what our leaders claim. I want to help end this conflict." With no other options, Sarah decided to trust him. Tarek provided her with vital information about the Xiran fleet's weaknesses, including the location of the flagship's main power core. Together, they set out to disable the ship's defenses and transmit a message to the approaching UEF fleet. As they navigated the labyrinthine corridors, an alarm blared, indicating their escape had been discovered. "We need to hurry," Tarek urged, leading the way to the power core. They arrived at a massive chamber filled with pulsating energy conduits. Sarah quickly set to work, using her knowledge of engineering to rig an overload. "Once this goes off, the ship's defenses will be down," she explained, her fingers flying over the controls. "But we need to get out of here before it blows." With seconds to spare, they made their way to an escape pod. The power core exploded behind them, sending shockwaves through the flagship. As the pod jettisoned into space, Sarah transmitted the critical information to Admiral Green. The UEF fleet, now armed with the knowledge of the Xiran weaknesses, launched a coordinated attack. The battle was fierce, with the skies filled with the bright flashes of plasma fire and the deafening roars of engines. The Xiryans, despite their technological prowess, were unprepared for the sheer determination and tactical brilliance of the humans. The UEF emerged victorious, and the Xiran flagship was captured. As Sarah, Tarek, and Admiral Green stood on the bridge of the defeated vessel, they surveyed the wreckage of the once proud Xiran fleet. It was a moment of triumph, but also a somber reminder of the cost of war. The humans had won the battle, but the war was far from over. In the aftermath, Sarah and Tarek's unlikely alliance symbolized a glimmer of hope. They had proven that, even in the darkest of times, understanding and cooperation could prevail. As the UEF fleet regrouped and prepared for the challenges ahead, one message rang clear through the galaxy: "We will never anger the humans again." The remnants of the Triton colony's distress signal sparked an urgency within the halls of the United Earth Federation, UEF. In the command center on Earth, a massive screen displayed the fragmented message from Captain Sarah Blake, and the room buzzed with tension. Admiral Marcus Green, his face lined with years of service and determination, stood at the center of the activity, issuing commands with precision. "Prepare the fleet. We cannot allow this aggression to stand unchallenged," Admiral Green ordered, his voice carrying the weight of authority. "Alert all available ships and commence immediate mobilization. We're heading to Triton." The UEF fleet was a marvel of human ingenuity and resilience, a testament to decades of technological advancement. Battleships equipped with AI-driven systems, plasma weaponry, and cutting-edge defense mechanisms began to stir from their docks. Pilots and soldiers suited up, ready to defend their home and rescue their captured comrades. As the fleet assembled, Sarah Blake and Tarek were navigating the Xiran flagship, their escape pod having been retrieved by a UEF scout ship. The journey to the main fleet gave Sarah time to brief Admiral Green via encrypted channels. "Admiral, the Xiryans are far more advanced than we initially thought, but they have weaknesses, vulnerabilities we can exploit," Sarah reported, her voice steady despite the ordeal she had endured. Admiral Green listened intently, his sharp mind already strategizing. Good work, Captain. We'll use every bit of that information. Our objective is not just to rescue, but to cripple their ability to strike again. Back on the Xiran homeworld, Commander Cathar seethed with anger and frustration. The loss at Triton had been a humiliating blow. He rallied his forces, preparing for a counterattack, determined to crush the humans who had dared to defy him. However, the Xiran scientist Tarek had other plans. Disillusioned with the warmongering of his people, he continued to assist Sarah and the UEF, providing detailed schematics of Xiran ships and suggesting tactics to exploit their vulnerabilities. His betrayal was a risk, but Tarek believed in the possibility of peace and saw an opportunity for redemption through his alliance with the humans. As the UEF fleet approached the Xiran stronghold, the tension among the soldiers was palpable. Sarah, now aboard the UEF flagship Resolute, addressed the crew. "We're not just fighting for ourselves. We're fighting for the survival of our species and the preservation of peace in the galaxy. The Xiarians think us weak, but they've underestimated our resolve." The Resolute, along with the rest of the fleet, emerged from hyperspace into the heart of the Xiran territory. What awaited them was a daunting sight. An armada of Xiran warships, their sleek forms bristling with weaponry. The battle that ensued was nothing short of cataclysmic. Xiran ships swarmed around the UEF fleet, their weapons firing in coordinated bursts. The Resolute's shields shimmered under the impact, but the UEF's advanced AI systems swiftly calculated counterattacks. Plasma cannons on the UEF ships returned fire, targeting the weak points identified by Tarek. Amidst the chaos, Sarah led a strike team on a daring mission to disable the Xiran command ship's central power core. They navigated through the thick of battle, their shuttle weaving between enemy fire. Once aboard the command ship, they fought through waves of Xiran soldiers, making their way to the core. With precision and skill, Sarah's team planted charges around the power core. "Set the timer for 10 minutes. We need to be out of here by then," she instructed, her voice calm despite the urgency. As they made their escape, the charges detonated, sending shockwaves through the Xiran command ship and causing a massive chain reaction. The explosion of the command ship marked a turning point in the battle. Xiran forces, now leaderless and disoriented, began to falter. The UEF fleet pressed their advantage, systematically dismantling the remaining enemy ships. The tide of the battle had turned decisively in favor of humanity. As the dust settled, the UEF emerged victorious. The Xiran fleet lay in ruins, and the threat they posed had been significantly diminished. Admiral Green, Sarah, and Tarek stood on the bridge of the Resolute, surveying the aftermath. "We did it," Sarah said, a mixture of relief and exhaustion in her voice. "But this is just the beginning. The Xiarians won't give up easily. We need to be prepared for whatever comes next." Admiral Green nodded. "Agreed, Captain. We'll fortify our defenses and continue to monitor their movements. We've shown them our strength, but we must also show them that we're capable of more than just war. We can offer peace if they're willing to accept it." Tarek, though still regarded with suspicion by some, had proven his loyalty. He became an invaluable asset to the UEF, his knowledge of Xiran technology and tactics, helping to bolster humanity's defenses and diplomatic efforts. In the weeks that followed, the UEF and the remaining Xiran leaders initiated peace talks. The defeat had humbled the Xiarians, and they were now more receptive to dialogue. The discussions were tense and fraught with distrust, but there was a glimmer of hope that a lasting peace could be achieved. The battle had awakened humanity's resolve and unity. They had faced a formidable enemy and emerged stronger, not just in military might, but in their commitment to protecting the fragile peace of the galaxy. The message was clear: humanity would stand against any threat, but they also offered a hand of reconciliation. The awakening of humanity's strength and the first steps towards peace marked a new chapter in the interstellar saga. The galaxy watched closely, knowing that the actions of the present would shape the future for generations to come. The defeat of the Xiarians at Triton sent shockwaves throughout the galaxy. The once feared conquerors, humbled and diminished, now faced a crossroads. The Galactic Council, which had maintained a fragile peace among the star systems, recognized the need for swift and decisive action to prevent further conflict. With humanity's unexpected and resounding victory, the balance of power had shifted, and a new era was about to begin. In the wake of the battle, Admiral Marcus Green addressed the UEF fleet and the broader interstellar community from the bridge of the Resolute. His words, broadcasted across the galaxy, echoed with a blend of triumph and caution. "We have shown that humanity will not be conquered. We have the strength to defend ourselves and the wisdom to seek peace. Let this be a turning point for all civilizations." The Xiarians, now under the interim leadership of Tarek, reached out to the Galactic Council with a plea for peace talks. Tarek, having seen the devastation and understanding the futility of continued war, was determined to broker a truce. He knew that rebuilding trust would be a long and arduous process, but he was committed to ensuring that the Xiarians would never again be a threat to the galaxy. The peace talks were scheduled to take place on the neutral ground of Station Epsilon, a massive orbital platform that had long served as a diplomatic hub. Representatives from every major civilization in the galaxy gathered, their ships docking at the sprawling station like a constellation of hope. The air was thick with anticipation and uncertainty. Admiral Green, Captain Sarah Blake, and a delegation of UEF diplomats arrived at Station Epsilon, prepared for the monumental task ahead. As they disembarked, they were greeted by a diverse array of alien species, each one a testament to the vast and varied life that the galaxy contained. Sarah, now a symbol of human resilience and determination, felt a mix of pride and responsibility. She had fought against the Xiarians, and now she was here to forge a path to peace. She glanced at Tarek, who stood beside her, a reminder that even in war, alliances could be formed in the most unlikely places. The negotiations began in a grand chamber, its walls adorned with the banners of the participating civilizations. The Galactic Council's mediators, an impartial group known for their wisdom and fairness, presided over the talks. The room buzzed with conversations in numerous languages, translated in real time by sophisticated AI systems. Tarek, representing the Xiarians, spoke first. "We stand before you today, not as conquerors, but as a humbled race seeking forgiveness and a chance to rebuild. The Xiarians acknowledge the destruction we have caused and the lives we have lost. We are ready to make amends and to ensure that such a conflict never arises again." His words were met with a mixture of skepticism and cautious optimism. The representatives knew that trust would not be easily regained, but Tarek's sincerity was undeniable. He proposed a series of reparations, including the dismantling of the Xiarian war fleet, sharing advanced technologies for peaceful purposes, and opening Xiarian space for trade and cooperation. Admiral Green, representing humanity, responded with a vision for the future. "The UEF is committed to peace and cooperation. We will work with the Xiarians and all members of the Galactic Council to build a better future. We propose the establishment of a joint task force to oversee the disarmament and ensure transparency. Together, we can turn the scars of war into the seeds of progress." The negotiations were intense, with every word weighed and every concession scrutinized. Trust was a fragile commodity, and the memories of the recent conflict loomed large. However, slowly but surely, progress was made. Agreements were reached on reparations, disarmament protocols, and collaborative projects aimed at fostering mutual understanding and growth. A pivotal moment came when Sarah and Tarek stood side by side to sign the historic treaty. Their partnership, forged in the crucible of conflict, now symbolized a new beginning. The signing ceremony was broadcasted across the galaxy, a beacon of hope for millions. As they signed their names, the chamber erupted in applause, a sound that resonated with the promise of a peaceful future. In the months that followed, the implementation of the treaty began. Joint teams of UEF and Xiarian engineers worked together to dismantle the war machines and repurpose the technology for civilian use. Scientific collaborations flourished, with shared research leading to advancements in medicine, energy, and space exploration. Trade routes were established, bringing prosperity to previously isolated systems. On Earth, The impact of the treaty was profound. The UEF's success bolstered a sense of unity and purpose among humanity. Efforts were made to address the social and economic inequalities that had persisted even during the conflict. The lessons learned from the war inspired a new era of innovation and cooperation. The Galactic Council, impressed by the rapid progress and the dedication of both humans and Xerians, decided to formalize this new alliance. A new council seat was created, shared by a human and a Xerian representative, symbolizing their commitment to a shared future. Sarah Blake, now promoted to admiral, continued to play a vital role in maintaining the peace. She traveled across the galaxy, visiting different worlds, and sharing the story of how understanding and cooperation had triumphed over fear and hatred. Tarek, too, became a prominent figure in the Galactic Council, advocating for policies that promoted unity and mutual respect. Years passed, and the galaxy saw a period of unprecedented growth and harmony. The alliance between humans and Xerians became a model for other civilizations, demonstrating that even the deepest wounds could heal with time, effort, and goodwill. The memory of the conflict remained, but it served as a reminder of the resilience and potential for greatness within all beings. The story of the battle and the subsequent peace treaty became a legend, told across countless star systems. It was a testament to the power of forgiveness and the enduring message, "We will never anger the humans again." The galaxy had learned that the strength of humanity lay not just in their ability to fight, but in their capacity for empathy, understanding, and hope.